Yo guys, how you doing? We're back again, and it's the Minotaur on our ProAcryl road test. This has been a lot of fun so far. It has really been a lot of fun so far. I'd like to get this guy finished tonight, so we've got to get a fair amount of work done in only a couple of short hours. But hopefully we can make it. Toonie Sprues! Thank you very much for that host, brother. Really appreciate it. And Des, I see with a host earlier. Much appreciated, bro. So we've got some freehand to do tonight. We've got some skin highlights to do tonight. We've got some bone and some skulls and all that shit to do tonight. And we've got eyes and everything. So it is a tall task to do today. But let's see if we can do it. In the chat, we got Dr. Rhino, Crooked Grin, Main Unit Conradson, Toonie Sprues, Des, Science Pie, AJC72. Thank you all for joining us. And Muad'Dib01. Cheers to you all. Hope you've had a great weekend. So, first thing I'm going to do is a freehand. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do a freehand. Let's just do it. It's wearing sports gear. Let's use sports slogans. Just do it. Let's grab some blue, which I love because it's just called blue. Epic Ants! How you doing, bro? Thank you for that sub. He says, hey Jay, learning a lot from your stream, so I'm keeping the sub going. Keep up the awesome work, mate. You're a legend. Thank you so much, bro. Massively appreciate it. Let's get some love in the stream for Epic Ants and the epicness that are, of course, ants. That are ants, that is ants. The ants are still more epic than the lids on these bottles. Still not loving that. But hey, it's cool. Do you know what else is cool? Do you know what else is cool? Let me tell you what else is cool. Let's get especially put gift in the chat. There's a reason. As with all commands, there is a reason. Tonight we're drinking some Brewdog layer cake. Let's not use the synthetic brush. Toonie Spruce says that he's cool. I mean, to me, brother, you're cool. But I feel that that level of, like, I'm saying you're cool is a bit like your mum giving you a Valentine's Day card. Like, it's nice, but it doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. Big Brom! What up, bro? So we got a poll. You guys have found a link. We've got a straw poll going. We've got 2 straw polls going. Anyone that's a Patreon will know why there's another poll going, as long as you're of the video viewer or higher tier, where you get to vote on shit. So if you're here and you're of that tier, you got till 10 to get that vote in, if you haven't already. But the first thing that we're voting on, this will be going for the entirety of the stream, is this. What are we going to paint? What are we going to paint? We've got some ambots, or at least it'll be an ambot. 1 minute. Khan the Betrayer, Fabulous Bill, Solitaire, Gotrek, Drazar, Kai Jericho, the Mortison Soul Reaper, Skink Star Priest, and the Orruk Weird Knob Shaman. They're all in there. I'm not going to say I've got a favourite, but I haven't voted yet, and I might split the tie that way. He says, as a vote comes in. Oh, exciting, exciting. The other vote is that one. But we're not going to talk about that unless you're a patron. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Those little teases. We like it. Right, we've got a blue on deck. I've got something else that's cool though. I haven't even shown my client this yet. So Ben, if you happen to be here. Here's Sarek. In his final form. He's finished. Got a little bit of OSL. The gigantic smashy stick of destiny, whatever this thing's called. All of the Silent King is finished. I just need to assemble him. Here's his two little gimpy dudes. Tell you now, man, I'm loving these power weapons. Really loving these power weapons. That's a lot to choose from. It is Toonies Ruse. Science Pie voted Bile, cool new kit, and currently listening to his audiobooks. I've got that one queued up, ready to go. Currently on Ravener at the moment, which is a great book anyway. If you didn't vote Khan, are you even 40k, bruh? Absolutely. Khan is love. Khan is life. MC6117, good evening. So yeah, coolest power weapons. I think they're fucking great. These are done using the same system, the same process as the ones we did on the Void Dragon. So exclamation YouTube, go and watch the video that nobody watched. God, I think there's still less than 100 views on that video, and some of them are me going to it to link it. Never mind, you win some, you lose some. But yeah, that's the Anarchy the Traveller. Just need his base finished off. The Silent King is complete, aside from a bit of tufts and some pigments. He's done. He's done. So all the cool shit is happening, which means Monday we're going to finish off the conversion for our Apothecary on bike. We're going to finish putting together the Armiger, still in the box, the mystery box. He's in quite a few bits in there. I'm also going to find the bases for him, because I seem to have lost them. I don't know how or why that could be the thing, but it's happened. And then next week we can start doing a tutorial on how to paint white. Guy Leroy! Dude! Thank you very much for that sub. Welcome to the stream, bro. I don't recognise the name, so apologies if you've been here before and I haven't shouted you out. But again, thank you so much for that sub. Science Pie says, I'm doing a lot of dry brushing, but it's terrain, so that's okay, right? I've painted 2 full sets of terrain. I haven't once used a dry brush, so no. Right, let's grab. It's fine, dude. It's terrain. Dry brush away. Unlike the bits that no one can see. Right, let's get some numbers on here. This guy's going to be lucky number 13. And we're just going straight on with the blue. So let's get our 3. I want it to be kind of fat and short. So that's our top bar. Remember, we've got a white outline going around this as well, so can't be too close to anything else that we've got here. And we're doing, this is how I write my 3s, with like the straight line across the top, and then the little divot. Same, I do my 7s with the little crossbar as well. Tilt's doing well, dude. Doing well. You can get some weathering powders for next time? Absolutely. Bit like someone I know, fat and short. I have no idea who you're talking about. I'm only fat. 6 foot tall is not short. Lisa, how you doing? Is there a picture of Chaplin on bike? There is. There's actually one on Instagram. In fact, there are a few. There is some video on both YouTube and Patreon of that guy as well. We did the black on Patreon, how to paint black. We did a simple guide to boost your bases on YouTube with him. And frankly, he's also right here. Like the way I paint? Thank you very much, bro. Here he is. In all his majesty. Basically, I haven't put my work to get him out for yesterday's stream. Literally finished the stream and went straight to my last. So, I love this guy. Really, really love how this guy's come out. So, it's banging. Fucking banging. Making your own Void Dragon from a Gypsy Avenger kit. Nice. Nice. I could get behind that. I could definitely get behind that. Right, let's do the 1. So we want it to line up nicely with our 3 at the bottom there. I'm totally not fussed about these lines, by the way. If these get painted over for now, that's no problem. We'll just come back in and block in some shadow, etc. So the middle is going to be towards the top. Get these nice and perpendicular. And then a little. Hood. So there's our 13. Now obviously that looks fucking terrible. So now we've got to... what's wrong with my freehand, bitch? I'm not taking that. My 2 cents about the picture on Instagram. Black on black background doesn't do justice. You need more lighting. That's fair. That is fair. But I hate the white background I've got. I need to buy, and I'm still struggling to find a good one. A sort of nice mottled greys, that sort of thing. You know, one of those like slightly artsy photography backgrounds. However, I've tried a few, like a couple of years ago, I tried a few different backgrounds when I bought the light box that I have. There's a red one, there's a dark blue one. The dark blue one I've never used because it's just no good. Everything's either slightly muted by it or contrasts too much from it, and I don't like that at all. However, I tried the red, that works well. It's just people don't seem to like those photos. The white background I've got is pretty terrible. It's just not good at all. And so black is the only one that's left. Now, I have had an idea about making a backdrop as a little one-day weekend stream project. Getting a load of either scenery bits together or like household junk, you know, that kind of thing. Build a backdrop. Because at least at that point, I've got something that is unique. It's definitely mine. I've got something I can add a load of interest to. I've got something that I can light independently. And so that's an option. That's definitely an option. Where we go with that or not is another matter, but it's certainly a possibility. I'm also considering buying a new light box. My current light box works well. The photos come out okay, you know. But it has no built-in lights, which I kind of like because I use the studio lights that swing around. Because my kitchen counter is literally about 18 inches in front of my face. And as a result of that, I can always adjust the lighting. Apparently I'm not a god of thunder. I can always adjust the lighting so that I have warm light where I need it, cold light where I need it, light and dark, and so on. I appreciate the feedback. Currently, that's the setup I've got. Like I said, though, I am looking into a new lighting box. The issue that I have with it is that all lighting boxes are great for photographing a picture of a fucking kettle or a toaster or a PlayStation or whatever shit it is you're trying to sell on Amazon. Getting one that works really well for minis is a little bit more difficult. By the way, I'm still not loving this brush, but we're using it because we're trying to fight through. and it's not going to give me very straight edges on this. Put it that way. This looks fucking terrible right now. We've got plenty of tidy up time to do though, so it's no problem. Also, we're using white acrylic rather than white ink, which is what I'd normally use for something like this, and that is making my life a little bit more difficult as well. The brush is what's really causing this to look so terrible though. Admittedly, the operator isn't helping, but certainly you guys have seen my freehand. I've literally shown you an example of it, and that was a complicated raven wing symbol, not just a number 3. The stream's going to become Sesame Street. Yeah, that's a no. Let's try this one. Let's try the synthetic. See if we can get anywhere with that. If not, for the freehand, we're switching over to Winsor & Newton. Take a look at the things I just shared. Yeah, exactly like that, actually. Yeah. That kind of thing. But remember, if you only did like a small subsection of that, you would end up with something that looks kind of similar across it. So the pattern needs to be smaller to help with the scale of what we're taking photos of. So that's half of the issue I've had. I found some great backdrops that are like vinyl, therefore won't have creases unless you really abuse them. There's a tiny little fucking hair at the end of this, and that looks great, but how will I hang it in my light box? I might have to affix a Velcro thing to the back of it. It's things like pictures of real slate and that sort of jazz. No, I can't use these for this. We'll talk at some other point, mate, after the stream, because I'm going to have to measure up my light box and let you know what will fit. But I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you very much. I've got a couple of backdrops that I bought from some like Shutterstock or something along those sorts of lines. I can't remember what it was. That I use for the Patreon guides and that sort of thing. That would be a good place for me to start, I guess. But appreciate it. And Lisa, again, thank you for the feedback. This brush, so much better. So the reason we're doing it this way around is we put the blue down as like our template. The blue is easier to paint over with background colour than the white will have been. So we laid that down. Now we're coming in with the white and we're edging all the way around the blue. And then we're going to come back in with the blue and just refine a lot of this. And that way we'll end up with a much tidier number. I can't remember what you sent, to be honest, dude. It was a while back now. So I'm more worried about the outer edge of this being correct than the inner edge, because the inner edge we're going to fix with the blue. So it's about making sure that all of these are nice and sharp. There you go, let's do the same one with the number 1. And I want to start the number 1 slightly further over, I think. You're being jabbed in the hand by this guy's horn, which is extremely uncomfortable. God, this brush is so much better. So much better. There you go. Hey, what have you guys been doing for your weekend? Went somewhere the half. We walked for about 4.5 miles or so earlier on today. Cut our walk short. We normally go for just a little bit longer than that. And played a bit of the Arkham Horror card game, which is great fun. If anyone's into Lovecraftian horror and kind of likes tabletop games, this is one of those. It's a card game. It's not like a trading card game. It's a LCG, legacy card game, limited card game. I can't remember. And essentially, what that is you are playing a cooperative game, a little bit like your D&D and stuff. It's all played with cards. It's great fun. Living card game. That could be the one. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's great. We've got all of the first expansion, and I just picked up the starter set for the second expansion. Each expansion's kind of a like a series of boosters that you get. Each one of it is a scenario, possibly 2 if it's one of the bigger boxes. That one needs to come down a little bit more. A little lower with that line, and we'll make our blue fill the slot. Been vegetating. Fair. We've been busy when we've been at home. Silent King needs to be finished. Super happy with him though. Come out really well. Ichu! What up, dude? How's it going? How's your weekend been? Yeah, I can't wait to get him finished. I've got all of the bits sat here, and I might have to stay up late after stream just to finish it. Been matte varnishing. I love the results. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Spent a week magnetizing Star Pulse Cadre box, a Ghost Kill, and a Storm Surge. Nice. Were there any Crisis suits in that? And if so, how deep did you go with the magnets? Because that's a rabbit hole you can go all the way down. Like all the support systems and so on, so you can get it completely WYSIWYG every time. That's a tough one. Everything's so much easier with this brush. The ProAcryl brushes have had mixed results from our road test, we'll say. The synthetic, really good for the things that you'd use a synthetic brush for. The sable, I am totally unconvinced about. have a chat with Jason, see if there's anything that he recommends. Christ, I didn't magnetize too much effort there. Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. Why are you still working, Toony Sprues? That's the real question. It's definitely 25 past 9 on a Sunday night is definitely after office hours. I don't care what your boss tells you. I mean, unless you're me, and then I am working until probably midnight. You work a lot, dude. You deserve a break. Go chill. Grab a beer. Do some painting. Right, so I'm just going to have to cut in around that little area there. I'm also extremely unsatisfied with the one and how fat this bottom area is in relation to the rest of it. I don't want to make the rest of it fatter, I want to make this bit thinner, so we're going to have to cut in around here as well. So I'm going to bring in the white. Block that in, and then we'll cover over that with some glazes of the dark grey and the black, and wipe out some of the outside. We've also got the blue to highlight, so it can't just be flat. That's rubbish. Absolutely not. Commission painters work the longest and get paid very low wages. We do. Yes, we do. I'll tell you what, I make more doing this, and I work about the same hours as when I was a chef, though. And it's a lot more comfortable, and I'm not up at 6 in the morning ever. So I will take it. I will take that. Right, let's get some of the other blues and test them out for some highlights. We've got blue that's just blue. We don't want to go desaturated with this faded ultramarine. To be fair, they even call it faded ultramarine, so that's really good. They understand this is very little power and presence. What about this sky blue? That looks pretty banging. Let's give this a shot. What I don't want to do is just mix blue and white, because that will desaturate it, and then we'll end up with this faded colour, which we don't want. The other blues we've got, I thought there was like 4 in here, was dark grey blue. So we might actually use that as well, just for the sake of it, to get some shadows in. So many different blues we can experiment with. Again, haven't used these yet. I want to try and get through every single one of these paints by the time we finished our road test. I want every single paint having had a go at. So far the black is one of my favourites from the range. It's a really good black. Never dealt with electric gear systems in research. You're right, it's rum time. It's rum time! Yeah, boy! Remember, guys, exclamation point gift to find out what gift I could be giving you on my birthday this month. Running a giveaway. We're still in the process of choosing the mini right now. I'm going to mix some of these two blues together. Just a little of each to give me some nice little highlight colours. Currently in the lead. Let's see. Is Khan the Betrayer by a vote. In joint second place, the Ambot and Fabius Bile by 1 point behind. In joint third place, by a point behind that, is the Solitaire and Gotrek. How does it stack up against the P3 Black? Currently, I'm going to say they're about as good, and that is unexpected. Very unexpected. I didn't think it would be close to Thramar Black, but turns out it could be. Let's just come out with a nice blue. See what it's like when it's dry. Remember, the Monument paints do have a very different finish after they've cured and when they go on wet. So just be wary of that. But yeah, their black is really good. I mean, almost anything's better than Games Workshop black, so I don't like the fact that it's satin. But yeah, this black is pretty spot on. I've yet to see how it interacts much with other colours. So for instance, when we mix red and black together, which is something that I do quite frequently as a base coat for red, it didn't work so well, and I don't know if that's the fault of the red, which I also had a bit of a disappointing time when I mixed it with some yellow. It just didn't really blend too well into an orange for me, which I'm very used to with Kador Red or even Evil Sun Scarlet from G-Dubs and Flash Gitz Yellow. Very used to those two going extremely well together, and this time around it just didn't. I don't know why. I really don't know why. So was it the black? Is it the red? Is it the yellow? Am I so used to Flash Gitz Yellow, which I still think is the best yellow, like hands down the best yellow? Am I so used to that other yellows have been slightly spoilt for me? Don't know. Right, let's try this dark grey blue now. Put some little bit of shadow. Again, look at the difference between this and this. This will dry to that colour, but the wet colour is very different. Have we used this one yet? I don't think we have. Nope. Just take out a little gasket. This I do like. Like, these caps are not my favourite thing ever, but I do like the fact that all the paint is sealed. Which means that you're never going to get half dry paint when it rocks up at your place. You're also not going to have your paint just randomly dry out at some point, probably. Another thing that actually is somewhat unique, as far as I can tell, about these paints that I do really like, none of them have separated from their medium, which is weird. Normally you don't shake a paint, it comes out of the other end of the dropper bowl or whatever, and you got medium, and you don't have paint. This, you've definitely got paint. And that's strange to me. I know each one of these pots contains an agitator, so maybe it's just the fact that when you do shake them, they are so well mixed that you don't have to worry about it so much, and they take a long time to separate. It could just be that. Not sure. Really not sure. Alright, there's our 13 done. We just need to tidy up the white outline on that a little bit, but that's totally fine. We're going to use the dark warm grey. This is a good colour, actually. I do like this one. We're going to use this, and we might have to use a little bit of black as well, depends on how it goes. We've also got a little bit of battle damage to put in on these areas where we've painted over the battle damage that we've got. I still don't like the fact that I'm wiping this shit off every time. That bugs me. Yeah, don't love that. Now, I know we did this with an airbrush, so we're working quite thin. It's still got good coverage though over the white. It's doing really well here. Okay, just went over the white a little bit too much there. We'll come back and correct that with some white. Where was that little spot of battle damage? It was this bit just here, so we're actually pretty clear of it. That's good. Let's get in here and just remove some of that white paint from around the 3. Brings back that definition. And just thins down that line a little bit. We've got to come in under here, just thin down this a touch. If we can get this to all be back to about uniform, we'll be in a good place. Moon Yellow from Vallejo Game, so I can get some more. Do you not find that's a bit thick? I know you're using it because you don't have an alternative, but I find a lot of the Vallejo paints that aren't from that air range to be very thick. Not scale thick. Not quite. Okay, that's looking alright. Got to tidy the top line of that though. This is where this may not be the right colour, so we'll give it a shot, see what it looks like. Let's just dry it down a little bit. I'm okay with adding a slight shadow essentially to the top of the text. I've got no issue there, but we may have to just come back in and cover this up with a little bit of a lighter grey. That was that little bit of that damage there. You can see that doing this just helps you sharpen up those outside edges, neaten everything up a little. Fish, how you doing, bro? But the now case. What? Yeah, I thin it quite a bit, but I'm tempted in adding flow improver to the bottle, but the now air case and more paints than the air cache. Oh, right. Cool. The non-air case had more paints than the non-air, than the air. Yeah, sorry. My bad, dude. I understood what you meant when you clarified it, but that still took a second. Igrish, absolutely. Beanbag, how you doing? Right, there we go. So we've got a few bits of white to tidy up. And then we're good on this. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Oh, but dude, I can barely type on my phone. Right. I think the older you get, the less good you are at doing that. It's definitely a young man's game. One of my favourite things about my current phone is that it has a voice-to-text function, so I don't have to type on it anymore. However, what I found out is that it beeps out swear words if you use that. So somehow I need to teach my phone how to swear. I use some of those words way too much, which maybe I should just take as a sign and like change my language patterns a little bit. But, you know. So you say boomers, but we're not actually boomers. That's the thing. We are, I think they called it Zenethials. They've brought in a new clarification for people that don't fit either of those two, like the Gen, the millennials and Gen Z, which I think are the baby boom people. They don't really fit those two. And their thinking is, most of the people of my generation, for instance, yeah, I know 81 and later was millennial, but they brought out a new classification, which is zennial or something like that. My buddy told me about this the other day, and I said, "No, it's bullshit. It can't be right." He went and looked it up, and it's because there were people of our generation that didn't have smartphones or even a cell phone, may have watched TV in black and white, and so on, right? So we don't fit into the millennial bracket because technology moved on very, very quickly. I think one of the examples given in the article he was reading out was that we probably used a phone that had a rotary dial on it to call a prospective date up, hoping that her dad wouldn't answer the phone. I think that's what they said is like their example. And I can actually remember doing exactly that. Phoning a girl called Kate, who I wanted to go out with, and trying to work out what I would do if different members of her family answered the phone. How old am I? I will be 38 in a week and a half. Right. So we've got a 13 that's passable. Remember, all of this is meant to be somewhat cartoony. By the time we get the heights on the skin and make this guy look like a laughing cow, we're alright. Now let's do an 8-pointed Chaos Star. Because this guy's going to be from the Dumbass Cowboys. Anyone that's an NFL fan will understand where the name has been derived from, I'm sure. And so rather than having the blue 5-point star, because he's clearly chaos, 8-point star. So let's just start off by drawing a cross. Unfortunately, we've got this nice little highlight line I put on earlier on that I can follow for our crossbar. And then let's just draw another cross over here. And I'm okay if all these lines are different lengths. And we're probably going to do that intentionally. Anyway, so you might have some that are shorter, some that are longer, but make it very obvious that that's meant to be the case. You're 38 also. Cool. A bit younger than you, had all these, but only because Romania is like 20 years behind the West. Okay, fair. Fair. So a baby. Yeah, mostly. I still consider myself a child, so don't worry. By the time I grown up was 4 digits. Wow. Ours was still 6. We had a 4-digit area code, so it was before the 01. So, no one wants to be a cowboy. He's literally a cow boy. You know. Yeah. Let me put the 1s in. Damn, I think mine was 680819. I won't tell you the area code, but yeah. So you never forget that. If you're of our generation, you will remember your home phone number for the landline at your home, because that was your lifeline. If you were ever anywhere and you needed help, that's what you dialed. And you'd go and go to a payphone, and if you didn't have any money, which in my case was always the way, you'd have to arrange for a collect call and then get connected through to your parents so they can come and pick you up or whatever. You know. Answering the home phone with your number, mate, I always thought that was dangerous. I don't know why. I always thought that if you answer the phone by telling them your number, despite the fact they just rung it, it was like this weird confirmation of a detail. So just answer the phone with hello, and if they said, "Oh, is that so and so?" So well, that's the number you dialed. You know. Literally yesterday, I also remember my old home phone number. Yeah, there you go. Reverse charge calls, exactly that, bro. 3310. Oh my god, you used that as the ball? Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, here's a 4-digit phone number. They don't exist anymore. Ah, docs. No. I imagine that nobody lives with a landline where I used to live. I imagine if we take that out. Do you remember Busby? No, but I don't remember things like what I had for breakfast yesterday and stuff. So I know I ate breakfast. Oh, I had a hash brown and bacon sandwich. There we go, with lettuce, because that makes it suddenly healthy. The fact you've had both hash browns and bacon and sandwich, that's no good. Put lettuce in it, healthy. It's all right. We're gonna make this one super long. And then we'll do some much shorter versions, like the top one. But they're all going to be different lengths intentionally, like I said. No, I don't remember Busby Bobcat. I remember Top Cat. Top Cat was cool. I can remember having a Top Cat sticker book or something. Don't know. English breakfast is the bomb. English breakfast lets you drop a bomb. I mean, I'll go with you on that one. I very, very rarely have a full English. I had one on Christmas morning. Sausage, bacon, egg, hash browns, toast, mushrooms. No beans, eggs. Was there anything else? Sausage, obviously. Black pudding. Black pudding. Yes, black pudding is life. Love that. Massive bacon cheese with half a pound of meat in it and one slice of iceberg, and you're good. It's not that I don't like English breakfast. It's just that if I eat that much in the morning, I'm really sluggish. I can't deal with that. I need, you know, you just get up with it. English breakfast for me today, and it was Weetabix. Nice. SWAT cats, great top. What? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember SWAT cats. What was SWAT cats? That one was a bit thick in comparison to some of these, but again, that's where the white comes in to take some of that away. Had it been black pudding? Yeah, always black pudding. Soda bread and potato. Damn, no beans. Beans can get the. No, I like beans. I do like beans. In fact, I quite often have what I call cowboy beans. Well, I say often, probably once a month or so, which is whatever meat I've got, whether it's chicken or bacon or chorizo or something like that, diced up with some onions and some garlic. Get that in a pan, get them all sweating down, and get some peppers in there as well, and then just a can of beans and some barbecue sauce. Serve that with some rice or some cheese, stuff like that. It's good. Rock 6 Delta, thank you very much, dude. The freehand is not the best on this, but it's still passable. Still got highlights and shades and everything to do on this part. The 13 is done. It's very cartoony, which is what we want. And we're just going to keep going. We've abandoned the ProAcryl brush, though. I finally got fucked off with it. Every time I went in for a brush stroke on the freehand on the back, it was just doing me in. no, can't deal with that at all. We've had enough. So back to Old Faithful Winsor & Newton Series 7s, bro. The best. We've got a random length 8-point Chaos Star. Very chaotic, obviously. And you get them sweet white lines right there. Ever tried Artist Opus brushes? Are they worth the 10 million quid per brush? This brush is about the same price. And allegedly the Artist Opus brushes are made in the same place. Allegedly. I can't confirm that, because that's a very closely guarded secret if that's the case. And I have tried the Artist Opus brushes. I was one of the first 70 people to join their Kickstarter because I know James. And they split instantly. Every brush I had split instantly. They're fucking terrible. I can't rate them at all. And I've moaned about them to James, who's like, oh, well, you know, I'm sorry I didn't get on with them, but people like Angel Heraldez and the Cult of Paint guys and so on use them, and they say they're fine. That's cool. I appreciate I'm none of those people, and I'm just a little painter that sits in his studio and cracks on. But you must be giving them something different than I'm getting, put it that way. This is a Winsor & Newton Series 7 size 1. And I use these pretty much exclusively. This one is brand new. I probably used it for a total of about 15-20 hours so far. And it's replaced one. I'll show you the difference in brushes. I haven't tried Broken Toad. I've heard they're good. But I'm really picky about brushes. So this is the one that's just replaced. Look at that point. I used this brush for 5 months at about 40 to 70 hours a week. This is the brand new one. Notice again, super sharp point. The difference is my brushes literally wear away. I use them so much that the bristles just shorten. 5 months of continuous use, and it's still good for anything I want to use it for, apart from really, really serious detail work. That's it. So, 12 quid for one of these brushes, in the hands of someone that paints as much as I do, lasts that long. I'll take that every day. That's a good buy. And this is why I'm very reticent to try out other brushes. We tried the Bonwicks, which I know people have said these are really good brushes. Alright, we're doing the Monument road test with all their ProAcryl paints. I'll try their brushes as well. If I don't like it, sure, it's a tenner wasted, although I bought 2 brushes, so we've got a synthetic one which I actually do really rate. This is good. This is really good. The miniature series, yeah, you've got to be careful on that one. It's difficult to see the difference. And some places will just list Winsor & Newton Series 7 and they won't tell you which line. And I don't like the mini ones. I prefer brushes to have a larger belly, which is one of the reasons why I didn't get on with the Bonwick Igniter. Very small belly, they don't hold a lot of paint, and that means I'm constantly back and forth to my palette. It's just annoying. Don't like that at all. The Broken Tone Mark II, I've heard they're good. I really have. But here's how attuned I am to these brushes, right? When I picked up the Igniter for the first time, one of my first comments was, Christ, that's really light. I don't like that. And they have a hollow handle. I'm reasonably sure. I don't know, they made a fucking balsa wood. I like these having that extra bit of heft to them. Heavy is good, heavy is reliable. So, I'm very, very picky about what kind of brush I use. But I also use this size 7. Yeah, Lisa, I was about to say, I use this size 7 for eyeballs and everything. Pupils. In fact, the old brush that I just showed you, that I said isn't so good for painting fine detail anymore, I had a lesson with a student on my Patreon that we painted faces and eyes with, and we were dotting pupils with that. Series 7, which one? Size 1? There you go. Making a lesson tomorrow. I feel healthy. Good, good. I wasn't going to ask because I didn't want to, like. But I'm glad. We're going to finish off that airbrushing, bro. Get your marine recess shaded. And then I'll be ready for some pretty awesome edge highlights after that. So this is going to look quite busy and quite crowded until we get the edge highlights, the blue highlights done. I'm accepting that for now. We'll come back and declutter it if we need to, but I think we'll be alright. Of course, this looks great with a very, very simple 5-point star design. It's very bold, which is what the Dallas Cowboys have on their helms and everything else. Of course, we just said they wear helms like they're fucking warriors. You know, you guys know what I mean. 12 quid a good price. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a solid investment as well. That's the way to think about it, right? You get what you pay for with so much stuff. Frequently, hobby things you don't, because you're buying something that is branded as hobby tool, hobby accessory, miniature accessory, whatever, and you won't get what you pay for. But in a market as saturated as brushes, because these also aren't marketed as miniature painter brushes, you're getting exactly what you're paying for. And these are absolutely worth it. They're brilliant. They're super, super good. Do you use brush soap? Yeah, I do. Yep. They're more warriors than football/soccer players, yeah. Yeah. Anyone that says that American football players are just Nancy's playing rugby with a load of pads on needs to try taking a tackle from a 350-pound linebacker whose one goal in life is to turn you upside down and shove your head into the floor. And you'll swiftly realise why they wear the pads. But you are making a purchase for this brush, and you are getting your money's worth as far as I'm concerned. Yes, occasionally you will get a bad brush. It happens. These are handmade in England by a lady called Sheila. No, Sandra. Sorry, Sandra. She's on the Windsor and Luton line. And so occasionally, things don't quite go to plan. You care for them though with some brush soap. I use the Masters brush soap. I use that after every painting session as a cleaner. It's a very good cleaner. It's also a decent conditioner. It is, so I leave my brush with that soap on it for a couple of hours, or if it's after the stream, then overnight. There you go. I started using the Gentastic Drunken Brush Group from Monument. And that's a passable cleaner. It's decent. But I think it's a better conditioner than it is a cleaner. And when I talked to Jan about this on stream a couple of weeks back, he said exactly the same thing. So it's always nice when somebody that you respect has the same opinion of you, as you. Because it means you're on the same sort of wavelength, and that's good. If he's thinking that and I'm thinking that, then we probably had the same experience and we're both on that same page. Just get a wrecking a 12 quid brush. Why? I know it's expensive and you don't want to drop 12 quid on a brush every month, but look after it. Make sure that you clean it. Make sure you don't jam it up to the ferrule in a paint pot. Don't use it for things like textured paint. Certainly don't fucking dry brush with it, or anything else for that matter. Don't leave it in your pot of water and all these things. As long as you follow the usual guidelines of how not to fuck up a paintbrush, you'll be alright. Yeah, exactly. Seriously, something similar to Citadel's medium layer brush. I couldn't tell you, bro. The last Citadel brush I bought, actually I might have some of those in here, I think was this one, that literally lives upside down in my water pot. That's where it lives. This has been the longest serving Citadel brush I have ever had, because normally they're dog shit after 2 sessions of painting. They use the cheapest, crappiest synthetic bollocks. Let's see. I've got a medium layer brush. I actually have one. Will you look at that? Why do I keep this? I know exactly why I keep this. I cut the end off it because the bristles were bent more than those like curly shoes they have in like Turkey or whatever. And I use this for stippling rust. That's what I use this for. So, no, these are still larger, still fatter, still better bellied. And they're still definitely longer. But yeah, these are fucking terrible. Let's carefully put the lid back on that one, shall we? Classic GW brush quality, yeah, about that. Citadel brush, my basing brush, stubby chode brush. Fair. I have some old, so here's how invested in these I am, yeah? That's the one I'm using now. That was the last one we had. This was the one before. It's got a red base on it, which means this one is one that I use for things like aggressive washing of metallics. These are all still, same brush. Here's another one which is really old. That is so old you can't even see the writing on it anymore. There it is, still Sable England, season 7. I believe this was a size 3, and I use this one for putting on basing pigment. Things like pumice and so on. Here's another one, it's a size 0. I still use this. Very rarely. There's another size 1, but this is the miniature series size 1, and that's the difference. The miniature series ones are these fucking tiny things. I literally bought that by mistake. Same reasoning, I imagine, as Lisa, is that occasionally they are not advertised particularly well as the one that they are. Here's a Citadel shade brush. I believe I've used that for a dry brush at some point a couple of years ago, and I've definitely used it for applying Riser Rust to shit. There's another Winsor & Newton. Yeah, another size 1. Another miniature size 1 by the looks of it. So you can see how deep the rabbit hole goes for me on my Winsor & Newtons. Bear in mind that every single one of those size ones, including the two I've just put down, probably last me 4 to 6 months, somewhere in that time frame. Which means the 3 brushes I've got on my desk are more than a year's worth for 36 quid. It's about, call it 3 quid, 250 a month. You know, if it lasts longer. So, yeah, they're good buys. Definitely good buys. I can't recommend them enough. So if anyone here works at Winsor & Newton and, you know, wants to get in touch with their marketing department and sort me out some sponsorship, down, bro. Got your back. You use plastic crack when you have sable crack. Well, I have both. I have both. Might pick up Squidmar's brush set. So I'm not going to lie, the Artist Opus set has kind of soured me to, oh, I'm a painter, we have a painting studio, style brushes. I like Emil. I do. I really do like his videos for the most part. Sometimes they're a bit off topic for me. That's not necessarily a bad thing though, because you're giving your viewers something different and you're then opening yourself up to other audiences as well. So that's not a bad thing whatsoever. But the ones where he's just like, oh, some of my Patreons sent me some random shit, and I'm going to sit and open it for half an hour and tell you all about the good old days where I loved playing my war dancers. I'm not fussed. And so those videos I don't watch. But his painting videos are really good. He's a decent artist. He's a good guy. And so I'll always support someone like that. What time are we at? We are just gone 10. We've nearly finished the freehand, so that's good. I'm just using the blue to tidy up the inside lines of the white, then we'll come in with some highlights and so on. We've got a little bit of tidying up on the outside to do as well, and then we're moving on to painting bone. We've got a nice skull or two to paint. Just went right over the white line with that, but never mind. You convinced me. Good. Plastic crack. It's all spruikling from the flooring building. I wouldn't sniff it though. I mean, yeah. Colorblind one was different. That was different. Yeah, that was interesting because I have friends that are colorblind. Rumpelmaster on Instagram. This guy called Stu. He's great. He's a really, really nice guy. Finally got to play him. Known him for years. Finally got to play a game against him at No Retreat. And he's a Golden Demon finalist for definite. I think he's got bronze. I don't think he's ever won it. And he's a phenomenal painter. Really, really phenomenal painter. Everything he paints is non-metallic. So if you like that, he's definitely somebody you should follow on Instagram. He's got a YouTube channel that he barely ever puts anything on. Rumpelmaster, that's the name. But he's completely colorblind, literally sees in grayscale. And we've had a lot of conversations about how to increase the vibrancy of his work, because that's obviously something that I'm very keen on in my own work, is getting those colors to jump out at you. Madgo06, thank you very much for that follow, dude. Welcome. We must be closing in on 3K now. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. We haven't... That giveaway, that vote I was talking about earlier on, that's finished now. Let's see what the results were. So it is Sunday, and on Sunday nights we normally announce the first or second model of this month's giveaway. So exclamation point mystery for a bit more info about what's going on or what's about to happen. But essentially every month I give away a mini. This was one of the minis that we gave away last month. The other one is a Knight Armiger Warglaive, which is in a box here, ready to be put together. let's have a quick look at this poll. So the Patreons of video viewer or higher tier get the privilege to vote on what mini they would like to see in the giveaway. And that vote goes in Patreon. In the Patreon channel on Discord. It was linked to a straw poll. And this was the vote. So, the mini we're giving away this month. One of three. Right here. Gorbag and Nickit. Sorry, Gorzag and Nickit. So if this gets chosen, the winner will receive 2 minis for the first time ever. For the first time ever. This is a great mini. We nearly gave him away for last month's giveaway as well, but he wasn't chosen. So there you go. Patreon guys picked that for next week's giveaway. I will give you guys a bit more notice, I promise. Let's have a look at the other giveaway that we've got running on at the moment. Exclamation point gift. It's my birthday on the 19th, and because I like to give on my birthday rather than receive, there's jokes to be made about that, I'm sure. I'm going to do a stream. I'll start at 4 in the afternoon. We'll paint for 8 hours solid, potentially with a little bit of pizza thrown in there somewhere. And we will paint, currently, Khan the Betrayer, and we'll give it away. So we've got one stream, get him painted, and he's done. Bam. He's a gift for one of you guys out there. Because why not? Why not, right? So, exclamation point gift. Get the link to the straw poll. It's right there in the chat. Toonie Spruce has put it in. Go and vote on what you'd like. Up in the top, we got the Ambot, Fabulous Bill, Solitaire, Gotrek, Drazar. Oh, not as many votes as I thought Drazar was going to get. 7. 7 so far. So there you go. Get your votes in. You've got till the end of the stream tonight because I need to buy this from Element. Because I don't have any of those minis. At all. Need to get our order in. So we've got plenty of time for it to get here. You just wait, Jay. Oh, fuck off. Don't be a dick. I don't know what you're planning, but don't. Right. Let's mix up some of that blue highlight mid-tone. So we're using the sky blue. Is it sky blue? Yeah, sky blue mixed in with the just blue. Paint's just called blue. Got to respect that. And I'm going to get some highlights on all of those star points. That's the first one. You've got a second highlight to do on this, remember? And then we've got a shadow to put in as well. Just give us some extra depth. When you're doing freehand, remember, you've done the hard part. You've drawn the damn thing already. So all you've got to do now is basically stick within the lines. And that's kind of all mini painting is painting within the lines. So don't be afraid of this part, because it's the thing that you basically do all the time anyway. All of mini painting is essentially 3D paint by numbers. That's kind of it. That there isn't a lot more to it than that. It's just there are extra things you can do to make your 3D painting by numbers look slightly better than somebody else's. I'm not as good as painting the lines. Okay, alright. Well, consider it a time to practice. There you go. It's an opportunity for learning. Band's Lost Arms How you doing, bro? We're good. How about you? How are you tonight, mate? What are you up to? You feeling better now? You've been having a lot of headaches recently. Are you doing better? My other half gets migraines probably twice a week. On a bad week. And easily as frequent as, say, twice in 10 days on a good week. So hopefully not so bad for you. So you see we're just getting a little extra bit of light blue in there. It's doing quite a lot for a very, very simple design. It's also helped to tidy it up a little bit and make it not look so much of a crime. This has been a very difficult surface to get this on, especially with the divots for the battle damage, but again, it's been an opportunity for furthering ourselves, you know, doing better, doing something we haven't done before. We started freehanding at the beginning of last year. I suppose it was February. It was February's giveaway mini that we started doing it on. And it's been a long road to try and improve that. So, oh god, yeah! Did you find Morty's arms? What happened to that? That was the saga of Morty's lost arms, which, pardon me for saying, I thought was a horribly apt twist of fate. Yeah, it felt for you, bro, but at the same time, I couldn't help but see the irony in it. A little bit of shadow. We've used God, what was this called? This was a different blue. This was dark grey blue, because it's a grey blue that's dark. I do like their naming convention. I really do. Just here's what the paint is. Deal with it. Been painting Morty arm all day. Slow paint. Oh, Morty isn't a fun mini to paint. He really isn't. There's no good way of doing it. You can go through the whole sub-assemblies route, which is what I did for the one I've painted. And you get to a point where you're thinking, right, we're under control. We know what we're doing now. We're going to glue some parts of them together, though, so I can work out the highlights. And at that point, everything gets much harder. He's such a ball bag to paint. He is definitely a count. Yeah, all the way up to 5 as well. Count strong all the way through. Not a fun mini. Hardest of all the Primarchs to paint, in my experience. Difficult getting the right line to this because of that curve. Just want to tidy this arrowhead up. Yeah, really did not enjoy painting him. Right, I'm going to wipe out the highlight on that battle damage because it's interfering with my pattern too much. That's fine now. And we're using this to help to just clean up and straighten up some of those white lines. Ideally not to completely eradicate them like I just tried to do with that one though. It's a bit of white to fix in a sec. I saw Productive today playing Dawn of War and it's all Mikey's fault. God damn that Mikey. But I'm glad you had fun though, dude. I'm also glad he's having more fun streaming as well. He needs to be careful though, because I know obviously we all know he streams away to YouTube and to Twitch. and it is against Twitch's affiliate terms of service to stream to a platform that isn't theirs content that you're also streaming to theirs. So yeah, needs to be careful of that. Drippins is continuing the gift sub they got from Glass Joe. Thank you very much, dude. Orman Lang 123, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated, bro. Welcome. Drippins, I don't know why, but there's no option for an alert for when you continue a sub. I don't get it. I don't understand why Streamlabs doesn't have that as an alert option. But they don't. And so I'm really sorry. So you just have to have me giving you love and Toonie Sprues giving you hype. Beanbag, that is a quality emote there at the bottom. I love that. It's my great King of the Week. Actually, yes. Yes. 4 knuckles deep in a great unclean one. That's the only way to paint it if you don't base it. They do. Send a subscription. Oh, really? I don't have it in here, mate. But thank you very much, though. It might very well be something that's on. Might be on a dashboard only. Yeah, I don't have a C variant option on the alert box properties. Yeah. Might be available on the dashboard. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. So I'll go to the website and give that a go after the stream. But thank you very much, dude. I didn't realize that was a thing. I almost never use the website for anything, apart from if I ever roll the credits, which I tried doing for a while and then just gave up on it. Because I felt that you were sending people off on a raid, but you were then forcing them to sit through a minute or a couple of minutes of credits. No, there's no need for that. Like, just keep the excitement going and get people through to the so-and-so. Why the cat anyway? Do you have a pussycat? Yes, I do. That's Mapes. That's my Meeps. She's my baby. So that's why we have the cat emote. That's why the stream currency is called Meeps. Also, Flick, I don't think I'm following you. Boom, there you go, bro. Have a follow.
What that's a part of, but
I'm guessing Reiner's on by the by the auto host. I have a Pusscat, I paint minis, my name is Jay, I like metal, literally the same person. Do you have a mohawk, Beanbag? If you have a mohawk, I'll accept that you are my doppelganger. There you go. There you go. You are literally me, but about 5 years older. Only mentally. Wait, no. Shit. I meant only physically. Fuck. Sorry. Used to have a side mohawk. What, like half a Friar Tuck? How does that work? Yeah, like that. Wow. Wow, what a hairstyle. What a hairstyle. Flick, hey, no worries, dude. No worries. I'm glad you found your way here, though. Right, let's try working on the bones. So we used light umber, probably, for that. We've got some bright ivory we're going to use. Have we got a dark ivory on this set? Let's look at the options we've got. Light umber. We do. We have a normal ivory in here somewhere. Ivory. There. Edgy. Very, very edgy, mate. Yeah. Yeah. That's a strange hairstyle. Says me with this, admittedly. But, you know. I've never heard of someone having a side hawk. But that's cool. That's cool. Let's get into this. And I'm interested to see the difference between the ivory and the bright ivory. Because normally there's not a lot of difference, but it's still a crucial difference. Let's see how we go. So this is the regular ivory, and that's a lot brighter than something like Menoth White Highlight, or Menoth White Base, sorry. Let's check out the bright ivory now. I used to have long dreads when I was 18. I nearly unscrewed this part then because I wasn't paying attention to the bloody bottle. That will happen one day. That's another downside of these lids, I guess, is if you're not paying attention, you're not used to it, possibly issues. Never had dreads. I've had long hair. I had hair so long that my fringe would probably be about where the bottom of my beard is right now. When I was 16 or so. No. Yeah, probably about then. Kind of a grunge style of things. That's it. That's it. We were. I'm not in love with the lid aspect of these paints. Also not in love with the brushes either. We finally relented today and gave up on trying to get the igniter, the red one. Igniter, yeah. Trying to get that one to bend to my will. Just abandoned it entirely. I was about halfway down my back and I'm 6'5". Well, you've chosen that choice, man. Or it chose you, one of the two. No, we tried long hair and then it was just so much work. Like, it was a hassle keeping it from looking greasy and oily, especially as a teenage boy. Right? I just couldn't be arsed with it. So instead, I ended up with hair that made me look, in fact, it made me look actually like Sid Vicious. Like, actually like Sid Vicious, to the point where I watched a documentary on the Sex Pistols. And I remember looking up at the TV and legit thinking, why am I on TV? I'll show you, this is literally what I used to look like with the hair that I had. Delicious. Pretty much exactly like that. Because at that age, I was probably 140 pounds soaking wet. But I genuinely looked almost identical to that. Madness. Fucking madness. I had that hair too. People called me Billy. Nice. But yeah, that was a fucking mindfuck there. honestly watching telly and you look at me like, so both have had short hair, did not like it, tried to mohawk, too much work. The mohawk actually isn't a lot of work. This, I take the clippers to every 2 weeks or so. And this, I trimmed it this week, and I probably won't trim it again for 6 weeks. One thing I will say about the mohawk is I've never, well, no, that's a lie. I've only met one barber that was able to cut it for me the way I like it, and that was in Bali. And that's a long way to go for a haircut. And so I just stand in front of my bathroom mirror and deal with it. Short version a bit more. Fair cheese, dude. Just, for me, long hair was too much hassle. I'm now finding that having a beard that you want to keep tidy and look good and be soft and not, like a fucking wire bristled brush and all that is a lot of work. So now I'm finding I have to blow dry this in the mornings. Otherwise, it ends up like this, where it's a little bit curly and a little bit wiry. But I didn't want to ask my missus to borrow a hairdryer this morning. We were kind of in a bit of a rush to go out on a walk before time got busy. But if I blow dry it, it ends up nice and straight, all over, and it looks a bit more presentable than this. Which is another reason for having a hobby hairdryer. God, who knew you'd get fashion tips from this stream and this streamer? The world has definitely gone wrong. Buzzing on my sides just now to spice it up. Gonna do both, so I'm putting this cut it short. Fair. I always liked. I ever thought if I ever had long hair again, or longer hair, so not a mohawk. Let's say, for instance, that the painting and content creation didn't pan out, and I needed to get a job. I'd probably end up growing hair a bit like Corey Taylor's, where it's like all of the top is long, swept back, and both sides are short. As a balding 20-something, or 30-something, always talk of long hair. He's always hitting me in the feels. Fortunately, there's not a lot of sign of baldness in my family. My grandfather died at 95 and didn't have a full head of hair, but there was still a few strands on top. He was kind of rocking the Homer J. Simpson a bit, but it was still hair there. My old man at 70-ish, doing well. He's thin on top, especially at the back, but full head of hair. I've got rid of most of my hair. As long as the middle bit stays there, we're all right. He did have a good innings, considering some of the shit that guy did in his life. He had a long span. He got awarded a medal about 6 years or so ago. A group of French guys turned up to his nursing home with the family, obviously we were there, to award him the Médaille Chevalier or something. I don't remember the exact pronunciation, but it was something along those lines. For gallantry, it's the highest honour that somebody not in the French military can attain. Because in World War II, he essentially held off many Germans. I don't know how many. It was definitely double figures, and it was more than 10 or 20. Single-handedly, while allowing some wounded to escape, because he was a sniper. After the D-Day beach landings, he was retrained and tasked up as a sniper. and it was basically in the attic floor of a farmhouse. There was the ground floor and the attic floor, with a long gun, taking out the Germans, while the guys underneath, who were some other Englishmen, had discovered some French servicemen that were injured and were using the farm to take shelter. They were hidden in a hay bale, and if the Germans had gotten to them, they'd have been killed, or worse. And he allowed them to escape. So at the age of 90-something, he's wheeled out in his wheelchair to the communal area this nursing home he's in. And there is the equivalent of a 2-star general from the French Foreign Legion and a couple of light colonels or lieutenant colonels, I can't remember the exact classification, stood there to award him this honour in full military press. And that was amazing. And if you ask Les what he did, that was his name, Leslie. Just so it's just nothing. He just did what I had to do. He didn't like talking about the war, because obviously some of the shit you have to do is horrible. But to him it was just a day and he didn't do anything special. That's my granddad. It was my granddad, through and through. Just another day. That's him. Beanbag, there's only so many things in the world that people can be. You're the one saying stop being a fraction older than me. Like, stop trying to copy me, is what I should be saying. Through adversity, true character is revealed. That's a fucking good quote. It's a really, really good quote. I got told a story at his funeral of when he, my dad, and my gran, who's also not with us anymore, moved house after my dad was born. How many people here have moved house and gone, fucking hell, that was such a hassle, I hate moving house? I think probably every one of us that's moved out at least once can say that, right? So, you think it's bad now. My grandfather got a job as a plasterer after the war and had to move from a place called Longlevens, which is in Gloucester, to a place called Bishop's Cleeve. Bishop's Cleeve is the other side of Cheltenham. The distance between the two places is, the way they would have had to go, probably 10 miles. Maybe 12. Okay, somewhere in that ballpark, right? Not forever. But when they moved house, they didn't have a car. The family didn't have a car. Okay, because this was back in it would have been the probably early 60s, right? And there was no car to be had. So my dad walked alongside my grandmother, who was pushing his old pram with some of their stuff in. Okay? 12 miles. 12 miles they walked with her pushing this pram with some stuff in. Les walked 12 fucking miles carrying a cart behind him, like a hand cart. So imagine like a horse and cart, you have this thing that goes over the horse at the front. Not that, just two handles. And in that cart was the rest of their stuff. And he walked 12 miles without stopping, pulling that. Now in Cleve, Cleve is famous for Cleve Hill. Which is fucking gigantic. And he had to do that bit at the end. Short PT session for Les. Yeah, too right, man. Too right. When he was training for the army, this was back, obviously, probably very, very late 1930s, very early 1940s. He was in Snowdonia. And every morning, as part of their exercise regime for the day, they'd have to run up Snowdon wearing full kit. Walk up Snowdon, like, you know, that sort of not quite run, not quite walk that soldiers get made to do quite a lot to help just build general endurance and stamina. They have to walk up to Snowdon, peak, and then back down the other side. Every day. And he told me that there was a local guy who was the son of a blacksmith and was an apprentice blacksmith, and that was why he wasn't in the force, because blacksmithing was an essential occupation there. Tabbing, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. And this blacksmith's lad would literally run up Snowdon, get to the top and run down, and he'd meet them on the way down while they're still going up. So you think what he did was extreme, and then you've got this kid that just runs up and down Snowdon every day before doing a day's work in a forge. I've worked in a forge. I did my work experience when I was at school in a forge because my uncle, he's not related by blood, but you know, it's like my godfather, so we all called him uncle. A guy called John Burgess. He ran a forge in Cheltenham, and I did my work experience working there. And so for a week, I do things like just filing metal and stuff, like gates that they'd made and things like that were going on parks or people's houses or whatever. Just filing all the burrs off and painting them. And that was boring. And he asked if I was bored, and I said, yeah, I was. And that was the dumbest thing. Never, if your employer ever asks if you're bored, like, no, I love what I do. That immediately, don't even give it a fucking second thought. No, I'm loving life, yeah. Because he said, oh, great, we've got a job for you. We need you to make some tent pegs. Right. Okay. In my head, I'm thinking tent peg, a little bit of like a wire coat hanger, basically, with a hook on the end. This will be easy. No. No. We had to make tent pegs for the Girl Guides. They were 14-inch 10mm square steel that were bent at one end and tapered to a point. And I had to make 1,000 of them because we weren't doing like a Girl Guides thing. We were doing the Girl Guides organization. So I spent a day cutting 1,000 lengths. I'm telling you, you very quickly learn to stack things in piles of 10, and then 10s go into 100. Because if you lose count, you're fucked. Mishap damage, how you doing? So I started off a day's worth of cutting these, and then a day and a half's worth of bending them. They had this machine. It was all hand operated, but you'd set like an angle. You'd put your steel in, and there was a stopper for how far out it would go. And then you'd pull this like lever, and that would twist it basically, so you'd get the curve on a tent peg. I spent a day and a half doing that, and I thought I was done in by that. And they said, right, cool, now you've got to get the point on them. And I expected there to be some weird version of cutting something to do for that. Oh boy, was I wrong. No. Because for another 2.5 days, each one of these would go into a forge. I'd put in like 5 at a time, pull one out and go at it with a lump hammer. And it would go back in, the next one would come out. I had blisters on my blisters. Oh, that was so rough. Never ever let your employer think that you're bored. Never. That was tough. That taught me a lot in that week about things I didn't want to do for a living. Blacksmithing was one of them. So was anything to do with the metalwork industry. Like, no! Just no. What about you guys? So in England, we had to do work experience twice at my school. We had once for GCSE sort of time, so when you're about 16, and once for A-levels. My A-level work experience was much more interesting, and that's not... I can't actually tell that story on stream. It's a very rude story. So just suffice to say that my 18-year-old-ish, well, 70, it was sixth form, work experience was way more fun than my other. What about you guys? Did any of you do work experience, and where did you do it? A job that big, you were screwed no matter what you said, mate. I was so fucked. Alright, you're right. Hey. Taught me a lot. Such as how to swing a lump hammer. Let's call that a life skill, shall we? Right, these bone colours, not as good as my Menoth White highlights and so on, but I am liking the way that they're fading in on this skull. So, we'll keep it up. Army work experience. Okay. What did you have to do as part of Army work experience? Because I can imagine that being both exciting and potentially either horrible or terrifying at times. Note, my government school is all about teaching the dumb, even if you're smarter than the dumb. Oh, great. You went to an MP's office. It's so boring, you're as quick out basic knowledge in tech would improve things. Yes! Yes, absolutely. So, we've got a filing system over there. Cool. Have you thought about an access database? No, we don't really do things like that. Here's the ledgers. Don't you mean spreadsheets? No, we have books. We write things. And that newfangled computer malarkey. My senior year of high school, I had to do internship and work with the head director at a nearby theatre. Oh, nice, dude. I did my first in Virgin Megastore, my second in the office doing marketing. Okay. Out of the two, which did you enjoy more? I know a few people that worked for Virgin in Cheltenham years ago when they were still... no, God, sorry, that was HMV, not Virgin. My bad. Yeah, I don't think they exist anymore. Actually, this is a really good bone colour for this skull. It's working really well there. I'm not loving it so much for the horns, but some of that is just we haven't got any texture on some of it yet, and that's what's sort of missing. But on the skull, it's going really well. Did an internship at NASA. Fuck, no way! That's awesome. What did you get to do at NASA? That's epic. Were you a space cadet? Now, I'm just going to point out that in England, we use the term space cadet as a really endearing way to describe someone that's a bit off this planet. You know. So... I actually enjoy with the marketing one. I was using Nerds because of my adverts, but Virgin was funner. Yeah, I can imagine. Data input using a template. It took me 30 minutes. I've done it several hours faster than normal staff. I spent most of 2 weeks waiting for work. Fuck that. I hate it. I hate it. Can't be bored. Hurts my brain to be bored. Make NASA temp tags, yeah. Work at retail at a pet fish shop. I just stick your hand in the tank of piranhas to clean it. Nice. Nice. And do they call you, like, one-handed Tom or something now? Work with the graphics companies, like to talk to actual clients and help with their website. So I did that when I was at uni, and that's what stopped me getting a job of any description working with the public in web design, which is what I was studying. Because I was like, fuck this, these guys don't know what they're talking about. I hate the public. That was a no. Des, first lot on RF based hardest bit was when they challenged me to beat the Cadbury's Cream Egg record. No way. Oh, no way! 23! I'd have chundered everywhere trying that. Second of its was an engineering firm, really easy, just watch them work and kept their dog occupied. Brilliant. The pilot secretary, so I worked in the room with 5 pilots in flight suits, heaven on earth, and sometimes with 3 SR-71. Oh, wow. Jabolian, thank you for the follow. Skeptic, how you doing, bro? Mishap damage, that sounds fantastic. Go you. Yeah, Skull's turning out really well. These blend together quite nicely. Liking it. Right, let's really start getting into the bone colours now then and stop fucking around with this little like off brown tan that we've got. So get a little texture built up back into this as well. So to do that, we're just doing some nice thin brush strokes along the length of the horn. It's a little bit tricky, obviously, with the corner. But keep them going. We don't mind if it's a bit of a rough texture. Remember, we're going for a very cartoony look with this Laughing Cow Minotaur, which we're blatantly not going to get finished tonight because it is 8 minutes to 11, which means I've got about 25 minutes to somehow do all of the skin highlights, all of the fur, like the hide highlights, eyes, and so on. So not likely to happen, which means we'll be working on him on the next stream for just a little bit. I will get the base done off stream though, because it's literally just going to be me taking a little rival craft tufts, gluing them to a base, and then possibly trimming them down with a pair of scissors as well. Mine was boring, local hardware shop, but I did learn how to cut a key. Oh, cute. Been 3D printed for 4 straight days, now have even more pile of shame, all awesome. My god. Rowan Crafts, that would be great actually, yeah. As an adult, maybe on some sort of job seekers kind of scheme, I think that'd be really, really good. Couldn't make up their mind. Yeah, I must have done something right or wrong as I now work for retail. Well, you know. Worked at a power station at its own 9-hole golf course between the cooling towers when I did my MSc thesis. Spent more time playing there than actually doing work. It was amazing. Jesus Christ. That's mad. That's fucking mad. I've heard of like places of work having like a gaming lounge and stuff like that with a couple of arcade machines and maybe having their own gym and so on, but never, yeah, we've just got our own golf course. What's the maddest work perk that's like that you guys get? Radcliffe-on-Trent Power Station. Okay, well, if I ever get into golf and want some glow-in-the-dark balls, take that however you like it, then I know that's where to go. Not into golf, though. I never played, but I just... Nah. My vision's not good enough to see the damn thing when it's in the air for a start. So I spend literally all my time wandering around looking for which ball might have been mine in any direction. Real tiny teeth. There you go, now he's got some teeth. Let's do a bit more brightness up here though. This area is too dark, so let's build this up a bit. Some of these creases just in some real deep recesses around here. Let's chat. I used to work for a company called Halcro. They've been sold several times for waste companies now. And they had a work into office cricket tournament, all paid for with hotel and food. Nice, that's cool. That's cool. So it's crazy golf and it's fun unless you're with 5 or more people. Hit the ball once, you have to wait 20 minutes. Faces and Basis. How you doing, dude? It's our office here. It's a super geeks, and the top floor was a full-blown fun room with arcade, pool table, consoles, the kitchen, pancake machine, popcorn machine, and mini. Jesus. The office we had in Bristol, which the company's gotten rid of, as a byproduct of, basically firing all of us. They don't need that office. Had a cafe / bar downstairs. On the ground floor, and we were on like the 3rd floor. It was an office building we rented an office out of. Janelle sent, it is. This is the Blood Bowl Minotaur that Rocky's been trying to win for nearly a year. And unfortunately, went to someone that wasn't Rocky. Went to Craig DeKal, who's in the chat at the moment. Say hi, Craig. Who is one of our Patreons. He's one of my students. He's got his lesson tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, bro. We're going to get that airbrushing finished, like I said. So make sure it's clean and ready to rock. Yeah, and on Fridays we used to get a free beer. I don't know if that was part of our rent or something, but you know, it's just 3 o'clock on Friday. Everyone has a beer. In the entire building, everyone has a beer. That was great. And Wednesday was free cake day. So on Wednesdays, you'd go down to the cafe area, common room, and there'd be about 15 different cakes laid out, and you could just go and help yourself to cake. The fuck? Oh, got your airbrush? Yes. Fantastic. Like I said, though, love, let us know if you've got any questions. And if you want, we'll try and sort out a sort of general airbrush usage lesson if you want. See if we can fit you in time. It's always going to be a whip session, Miss Half Damage. Always. I say always, most of the time. But yes, today there will definitely be a whip. Why? Have you got something else you've been working on? You finished the cats now. We saw those. They're super cool. I showed them to my other half. She was absolutely buzzing over them. She's a bigger cat geek than I am. Alright. That skull's working out alright. It's got to the bright ivory now, so we're mixing a load of this just to retain a little of that previous colouring. You're having airbrush problems. Okay. Tell me about your airbrush problems. Let's see if we can fix them. Girl recently left had a secret door into a room we called the Speakeasy with a wall of liquor and tea. Damn, man! Secret door into a bar. In your workplace. That's madness. Love it. Living in my accommodation for work, we have our own bar with fridges full all the time. Nice, mate. Nice. What do you do for work? Again, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, obviously, but I've done a couple of chef jobs where we've lived on premise, and it's been less wages because obviously they're taking care of your accommodation, but also they cater you, so you have to make your own food, but you get your free meals daily and stuff, sort of off the menu, and as long as you didn't take the piss, there was always drinks to be had. In the military, fair Fair. That makes sense. But obviously the best thing about working right next to where you live when you're in a kitchen environment is when you do a split shift, let's just say the waitresses are doing a split shift as well, and there's always a time to disappear. But yeah, that was a fun aspect of some chef work. Loving the common trend here of office plus alcohol. Hope none of these places are taxi firms or emergency services HQs. Yeah, right. What's worse is that he's a surgeon, you know. God, no, the office in Bristol was great because not only do you have those perks, but directly over the road was a Brewdog bar. And the guy that ran the team, our software development team, was one of the first round of Brewdog Equity for Punks people, whatever it was that you bought shares in their company. And so if you were having a meeting with him, like your regular one-to-one with him, you'd have it over there. And he'd buy you a beer. So there was lots that was like, this isn't the way that most people work as perks that we had. But it meant that we all really appreciated our job a bit more. And that's why when we all got made redundant recently, it was a bit of a shock. And a lot of people were very, very hurt by the company as a result. For me, it's been the best thing, because now I paint toy soldiers for a living and basically talk to you guys. Archangel Cypher, thank you for the follow and welcome. I get a ride on a helicopter, fed shite food, and get to share a room with a strange man. So my first day at Zenithal today, white ink is potent, had no idea. Those two sentences said by the same person sound slightly weird together. But yes, white ink is potent, and it was my other genes. They're still... They've still suffered the splooge of the white ink. That has not come out. He does full-time, awesome at a web dev currently. I've just stopped being a web dev. Well, it wasn't web dev, but it worked with web developers. QA. For mostly manual QA, but I was learning automation and learning coding to be able to do a bit more. I really enjoyed it. I love the sort of detective work that you have with that, where you're looking for bugs and trying to find ways to break things. And I was really good at it. I wish to blow my own trumpet. I've never had any training in how to do it, but I have a very methodical approach to things a lot. No, I worked for a power company. It's a local green energy company that until very recently I thought had their head screwed on, but they've just made redundant all of their technology team that deals with things like their app. So I helped create their app and their website, which probably 140,000 customers use, one or other of. And it's had some great reviews. It's had some fucking terrible reviews from people that are reviewing the company, though, and not the app. But they have, for the most part, liked the app. And the company's decided, you know what, fuck you, we don't need a technology firm. We'll outsource all this shit. And so we all lost our jobs. And my final day is in 19 days. 19 days! Then we're finished. We're done. The Dismayer. He says, looking at Badger 105, wondering if it's a good series. I haven't ever really liked the Badger stuff. I've played with one once, so bear in mind I've got a sample size of one. I feel that the Badger airbrushes, like their Patriot and all that sort of stuff, are designed a bit more for people using inks and acrylic artists of 2D stuff rather than 3D stuff. Because the majority of the problems that I hear about the Badger are to do with it just gumming up a little bit. And you probably wouldn't get that issue so much using acrylic inks and artists' inks for the airbrush, rather than things like thicker acrylic paints like we use, designed to be a little bit more hard wearing, certainly metallics and stuff like that. I have a friend who I told flat out, Baden Dragon, cheers for the follow, I flat out told him, buy an Iwata Eclipse. Here's one, 120 quid, we found on eBay, that was hopefully not going to take forever to turn up to him. And he decided against it and went for the Badger Patriot, which I think is the 105. Is that wrong? And has had a fair amount of problems with it. He kept telling me that it's getting blocked. It's always blocked. Like, have you cleaned it? Have you done this? Yeah, I've done all this. Right. Well, you should have bought the Eclipse. And that's basically what it comes down to. For the difference in price, because I know the Badger stuff is quite cheap, but in comparison, it's still, $80 to $100 for the airbrush. But Janelle just picked up a Eclipse for $150, and I can't recommend it enough. Honestly, to me, it is the best airbrush you will get. You told me to get the Eclipse and a Silverjet compressor for my budget as I didn't want a tank, and I love it. The Eclipse is amazing, mate. Frozzy uses the same one. We agree on a lot of things when it comes to mini painting. We're going to try this paint now. We disagree on a few, but we agree on a lot. Oh, we have opened it. Shit. HPCS. All day, every day, baby. This is the one. Make sure you get the HPCS. HPBS, unless you like the really tiny cup. This is much better, I think, for people using the airbrush to maybe batch paint. You're going to want that extra size, trust me. If you ever notice, most people with a Badger have more than one airbrush, and people in the Eclipse only have one. Yeah, that's right. That's a bit telling, that, isn't it? I'd never thought about it, but you're absolutely spot on. See, I will buy at some point another Eclipse, but it's the custom-built Eclipse that you can get from them. And the only reason I'd buy that is because I can get one for a 0.15mm needle. And they are custom jobs. They're made precision built. They are going to be something that I'd only ever use for extreme detail. That would be the size of it. You want the CS. Decapo! Thank you for the follow. Are we getting our flesh tone? Alright. We're going to do the flesh on this guy, and then we're going to call him for the night. So we will be going into the whip in about 10 minutes or so. Is it HP? Yeah, the one you want is a CS. I think it's HPB. But it might be HPBP now I'm thinking about it. Not sure. Oh, don't really love that colour. We'll try it. So we're just going to use a little bit of this flesh colour, which they just call tan flesh, which makes perfect sense. Nice haircut, bro. Somebody literally said that to me earlier on today. We're walking through town with the half, and this random Cheltenham man wearing the Cheltenham tracksuit of grey hoodie and black Adidas tracksuit bottoms. That's the Cheltenham tracksuit. Oh, nice haircut, bro. Right. Thanks, I guess. Cheers, dude. And we moseyed on pretty quickly. So we're painting a nip. You're painting a nip. Twitch has banned me. It's all illusory now. None of us are here anymore. So this was done with the tan over magenta, which had orange over it, and then worked up to this, and then built up with some ivory, and then we made a wash out of one of the browns. It might have been the light umber, I can't remember, to try and give us a set of different tones throughout the flesh. Now what we're doing is we're just coming in with some nice bright highlights to again make this guy look a little bit cartoony. We want to accentuate a lot of his muscle mass and give it some highlights that are a little bit more than you'd normally do, to make it look a little bit glossy, as if he's sort of sweating. I want the skin to look like he's got a bit of sweat glisten, and then the hide to be kind of matte. So there's a little difference between the human skin and the animal hide, essentially. Are we doing 2 airbrush blending on your birthday? No, Christ, no. No. Jay, you enjoyed tickling that nip too much. Who doesn't like tickling a nip? No. Don't judge me, bro. Don't judge me. We know you're just jealous. So, this is also going to serve to help tidy up some of the wash that we created. Remember, we haven't had any of the translucent paint line that Monument have got. Everything that we've done on this has been the paints from their base set, and that's it. Do you have a link where you recommend buying that brand? Oh, you mean the airbrush? No, normally I tell everyone to go and shop at Element because that helps me out, but don't buy an airbrush from Element because Element's prices are a lot more expensive. I think they're currently selling that airbrush for 180, and the one that Fish linked you there was 139. Element have the Iowata Silverjet compressor at a decent price right now. And that's the compressor I use. It's a tankless compressor and it runs so hard. It's a fucking workhorse, man. We've had that on stream for 16 hours straight on stream running with no break. And it handled it like a champ. It's so good. The Iowata kit, I cannot recommend that enough. Aircraft.net. I think that's what Fish put in. I've never used them. Never used them. But Primus Mitch Painting, how you doing? So is Tankless quieter? No. God, no. It runs all the time. It's a constant... You get that. But mine is under my desk. So it's out of direct line of sight to the microphone. Ginger Steve, what up, bro? And it's on a piece of very thick carpet. Yeah, Silverjet compressor from Element. If you want to support the stream, !Element, you'll get a link to it. Well, at least to Element. And that's an affiliate link, so I will earn 5% of whatever it is that you spend there at no additional cost to yourself. We use that money to help fund the giveaways like this one, and !Gift, the one that's going to be finished off very, very soon. We are trying to get a vote from you guys on what mini I should paint on my birthday, which is a week on Tuesday. And we're going to paint it and we're going to give it away to a subscriber. We're going to start the stream at 4. I'm going to stream right through till about midnight. And some subscriber is going to get whatever it is that I paint. Magnus, hey, you've got to choose from the list. There's a lot of minis that were suggested by people on Saturday's stream. If you didn't know, we stream on Saturdays from 11 a.m. UK time till about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And it was like, no, I can't paint that in 8 hours. It's got to be a mini we can finish off in one hit. And currently, currently, what's in the lead? It was Khan the Betrayer. It is still Khan the Betrayer. 16 votes. Fabulous Bill in at 14 votes. And a Solitaire and the Necromunda Ambots. Actually, the Ambot just took over at 14 votes. Solitaire at 13. Oh, there's some more voting. There's more voting. Birthday is 19th, same as mine. I should win by default. Good luck, dude. Good luck. If you do, that would be cool, but it would be a complete coincidence. Are you doing anything nice for your birthday? Because it's a stream day. I decided I'd just stream. My other half was a little bit taken aback by that. She wasn't unimpressed. You know, she's very, very supportive. I'm very lucky to have met somebody like her. And so she was a bit surprised that I wanted to do that on my birthday. But on my birthdays, I've always done things like taking cakes into where I worked because I'd rather give to people on my birthday than get gifts. It's just the way I am. So base set of paints. What are you using, Jay? For leathers, etc. So we learned I have a lot of paints and nothing we would choose, mate. God. So for painting just normal leather, like brown leather, get a dark brown. I've got Battlefield Brown from P3 is really good. Rhinox Hide from GW is really good. But if you're making brown, then basically any set of paint chucked in a bucket is going to give you brown, as long as you've got all three of the classic primary colours in there. You'll get somewhere through that. And then I use bone to highlight up quite a lot, or flesh tones to highlight up quite a lot. So Cadian flesh tone, Menoth white base and highlight work quite well with browns. So, is there a mystery box this month? There's always a mystery box, Mr. Enigma. Always a mystery box, without fail. The real trick is coming up with some minis. And remember, you guys get to vote on these in the Patreon community. And this month, you guys voted. You have spoken. We're giving away 2 minis to whoever chooses this. The Little Grot, Nick It, and Gorzag Gitstompa. This is a fun one to give away. I like painting orcs. I haven't painted an orc for a while. Orc skin is fun. Right, let's try mixing this tan up now with a bit of this weird... No, I don't like that at all. That looks shit. This was golden brown. Didn't like. Let's use tan and ivory then. We'll use the light ivory we've got on the palette. Let's see, it's 20 past 11. We'll be going to whip very soon. I've got about 5 minutes of brushwork left to do. I'd guess. Can't see there being much more than that. So, !whip or !discord. Come and join in the fun. What brand is Bucket Brown? I said Battlefield Brown. That would be P3. Anything. What I mean is, if I choose a base set of colours and had to buy it, what would you choose? I'll tell you what, mate. Buy the ProAcryl ones from Monument. You're going to hate the lids. You will. But if you just had to buy one set, let's have a look at the P3 ones on Element. Give me a second, mate. Paints, Proto Press, P3. Because they don't do a full paint set, I don't think. Yeah, you do. It's unavailable. It's 72 paints for £157 on Element. Try someone like Firestorm Games. Like, I would never suggest to anyone to just buy a full range of paints. I bought the ProAcryl ones. I'm not your average hobbyist. And there'll be paints like this one that I can't ever see myself using. I might find a use for this at some point in the future when I suddenly go, oh, yes, I need golden brown for something. The flip ones, I want to get mishap damage. I spoke to Jason about it on stream on Tuesday. Now, I said that these were driving me mental after literally 2 days of use. And the flip ones are the ones that I want. I'm waiting for them to get some in stock over here. Otherwise, it's shipping from the States, which, yeah. I got sort cells locally. I'm guessing to use this. Check on airbrush and X2 on compressor. I'll get a compressor remote. It looks cheaper. Cool. That's good. But yeah, I wouldn't tell anyone to just buy a whole set of paints. I use paints from Scale, GW, now ProAcryl, P3, Vallejo, Army Painter. I think that's it. That's 6 brands of paint. There are just really good colours based on pigment strength, based on usability, and so on that I would strongly suggest from certain people. So, oh god, I'm not gonna have time to do it this week. That's only really dismissive. Apologies. What I was about to say was I will get a list of paints on a Google document that are like solid go-to. No, 7. We use Secret Weapon Miniatures paints as well. 7 brands of paints. I will get a Google Doc together with paints that I consider to be, if not essential, ones that everyone should try and get because you'll find uses for them a lot. Some of them will be harder to get. Secret Weapon Miniatures Tire Black is an absolute dog to get hold of. But it's fucking great. Everyone should have it. Army Painter washes, brilliant. Reapers, I haven't used at all. Type number 4, have you tried P3? Bear in mind, one of the reasons that I love P3 is not just the fact that their paints are amazing. That matters, obviously, more than almost anything else. But they're based in the UK, and so am I. And so for me, I like to support business in my own country. It's one of the reasons why I was so over the moon when Rival Crafts turned out to be the best fucking thing ever, because it meant I was not going to be ordering from Gamers Grass, which is a Polish company anymore. I'm paying freight from Poland, and obviously, well, I'm not necessarily an environmentalist or anything. It's better to not have a load of things coming on over a boat or plane or whatever. Usually once a month with the commissions I was doing. I like to support local businesses, so part of the reason why I love P3 is just that. You know. No, it wasn't for later of P3 at the shop. I think that P3 stock looked like it's been sitting a long time. Fair. If it has, then maybe, like, ever thought of seeing if Element would do a bundle of your go-to paints? No, actually I haven't. I don't know if they'd ever have it in stock. That's a really cool idea. I don't know if I've got enough affiliate clout for that, but I will ask. What's the worst, right? Once I've got this list together, I'll drop them an email. Yeah, genuinely had never even considered that. Alright, do one more skin highlight. Just a few little tiny ones. We've mixed in more of that ivory with this tan. Flesh. I like this tan flesh. It's good. Is it a Chadian flesh aid replacement? Maybe. Honestly, that's a maybe. It might, yeah, it might be. It might actually be a Chadian flesh tone replacement. And for anyone wondering what the fuck we're talking about, it's because Des once misspelled Cadian flesh tone as Chadian flesh tone and it's stuck. So. I like how thin you can get this, but still retain the punch from it, which is very important to me in paint. Let's go to a hobby shop instead. Now, it doesn't carry P, it does have AK and MIG. I wouldn't buy AK, but the MIG stuff's decent. Epic Ants, that makes perfect sense. Only for Royal Craft, I used iPad stuff before, it's never quite right. Royal Craft stuff is just epic. It's packed so tightly, they're tufts. They are incredible. And the customer service is amazing. A tire black on a different element for nearly 6 months now. Yep. That might never come back in stock. Just ask for the rest of the stuff in your cart to be shipped, and I'm sure by now they'll be okay with it. I thought P3 were in the Seattle. They're manufactured in the UK, mate. And the guy that owned P3, Mike McVeigh, based in the UK. Game Store also has Secret Weapon, but you never tell from the bottles what was paint, wash, pigment. To be fair, that is fair. They have a massive line of stuff, and you've basically got to read the small print on the bottle. So this is a brilliant black wash, soft body black. I've got a couple of bottles of this. It's fucking banging. And it says water-based acrylic wash on there. But I've got their blue wash that doesn't say wash anywhere on it apart from just blue wash, but it's not in one of these bottles. So it's real difficult to pick them out. The tire black, rubber, and rubber highlight are all really, really good. And again, you have to just read the thing, acrylic paint. Black tops, I think, is the ones that are paint. I don't have enough of them to say for sure, but both washes I've got a white top. The paints that I've got are black top. Is this one black top? And that's a paint. Yeah, I've got one of their orange rust paints, and that's black top. So. Vallejo silvers are really good. I love the Vallejo silvers, actually. They are my favourite silvers. Right, so we've got most of this guy done. We've got the skin, the hide to do. We've got some highlights and shadows on the blue to do. And things like the eyes and the hooves and so on. Little bits of hair. So he's going to need another stream. We've done some freehand. We've done the number on his back, number 13. We've done the 8-pointed Chaos Star of the Dumbass Cowboys. That this guy's clearly a member of. And we've highlighted that skin tone up, as well as doing the bone. Really like the bone. The skull has turned out pretty okay from most angles. Liking it. So he's good. I showed off the Silent King earlier on. We show off again. This guy I'm going to stick together after the stream. I love him. Oh, yes. Zarek. Absolute beast. I filmed how to do the gems on this guy using this dude as a reference because he had two different kinds of gems. We've got this big circular one down here at the base, and we've got this fucking epic hexagonal gem at the top there. Big fan. Big fan. Can't wait to get this guy assembled. I've just got some base work to do, but here is the throne of the Silent King and the other gem that I have filmed for a gem tutorial at some point in the future. Don't know when that will be. That'll be one of those times where I haven't got anything, any time to film something, and we'll pull that one out of the bag. But really, really big fan of this guy. Stay tuned to Instagram to see some full pics of him, probably within the next 2 or 3 days. Let's go check that whip, see what you guys have been up to. And whip. Des, I love the fact you finally matte varnish your stuff. Matte varnish is life. Matte varnish is life. Right, so here we go. Craig the Celt, we did it, boys. Got paint down 20 and says built, undercoated, and half sprayed base grey. Good stuff, lad. Good stuff. Glad to see you getting some work done as well. Two Spruce, take care, bro. Have a good one, mate. Don't miss anything else. I've never actually used scale. Scale golds are the shit. Absolutely the shit. Admiral Ant's progress so far on the Beasts of Nurgle. It's looking good. I love the little eyes in this guy's face. They're so cute. They're so cute. Was this contrast flesh tone? Gilliman flesh, whatever. Was it that? Only reason I ask is because I can see a few spots that it's just pulled a little on, and that little bit of that sort of coffee stain texture on the skin. If that's the case, it's not an issue. Just make sure you go in with some highlights and start to even that out a little bit. But I'm liking what you're laying down with this guy. Let's look at the other guy that still to me looks a little bit like Edward Scissorhands. I like what you've done with the tongue. Nice bit of red to really bring up some life and some colour at that end of the model. Yeah, I like it, bro. That mouth is horrible with the eyes in there. Ugh. Creepy. Very creepy. Chimo. Been paying my grot backlog. Another 30 down. Many more to go. Reaper's fair skin with army strong tone wash. Okay. Cool. Toonie Spruce, are you alright to be a moderator on Discord, by the way? I asked Des earlier on. I forgot. I need to ask you and Jaeger. Is Jaeger about? I don't remember seeing him. Love these, mate. That's a very cool symbol you free-handed on everything. Literally everything. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bet you can do that in your sleep now. Right, Void Avenger is getting there. Green stuff is where I'm going to try sculpt some stones to make it more like the actual good dragon, but any ideas would be helpful. Okay, first off, that's really quite clever. So, oh, brilliant. Cheers, Jaeger. I did think you were there. Hey, it's all good, dude. It's all good. Hope your house move goes well. Hope you're also not pushing a cart for it as well, as we talked about earlier on. Let us know if there's anything I can do to help. I appreciate I probably can't, but you know. Yeah, this is really good. I think you need a bit more variation in the wires. So on Void Dragon, there is loads of bends and kinks in it. I appreciate, yeah, this may not be the easiest thing to do that to, but a pair of pliers and so on to help you out would go a long way. I don't think you need it to be thinner, because look at the stuff on the Void Dragon, right? What you might need is some wings, or at least a suggestion of wings, like vestigial wings. So here's my boy. Best mini that GW have made last year. Look at how tangled up some of this shit is, right? No, I appreciate it. It's all over, and I can see a few tangles, but yours is like sat at volume 6. This guy sat at volume 11. You know, you've got to really try and push that up there a bit. As far as this lot goes, when Travarian did his, he made a load of push molds and he put them on the base. There's possibly enough stuff with Blackstone on that you might have in your Necron collection to be able to do that. Just using some blue stuff and then filling it with green stuff or Milliput or whatever else that you want to use. Blue stuff's super easy to use. You basically, did you ever a gum shield you had to put in hot water and bite to fit your teeth? It's kind of the same thing as that. You heat it up in some nearly boiling water, let it go a bit soft and goopy, pull it out, stretch it a bit like taffy, and then sort of gum it down onto what you want to make a push mold of. And it's really good. You could equally, though, because of who you are and what you do, perhaps just print some Blackstone style stuff and build that on. Either way, mate, it's a really good start, and I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. That's going to work really, really well with the Gypsy Crons, but as long as you paint him. You can't just stick a fucking action figure on the table. Exploding Fruit back with his dread. Oh, yes. Yes. Epic work. So the last time we saw this guy, he hadn't been based, and the gribbly bits hadn't been painted. They look awesome, bro. That nice insectile chitin. Really good. Really gross, but really good. Oh, and I like this little talon on the back of that foot as well. That's cute. So here we go, guys. This has been a work in progress for a while. Oh shit. Sorry. Let's go back at the start. My bad entirely. Thanks to everyone who shouted up about that. No, your Robotech action figure isn't a knight, and I once saw somebody using 3 weird Gundam-looking things as Riptides at a tournament, and they shouldn't have been allowed to, because these things, Riptides like this tall, and these things were like this tall, and just looking over buildings and shit. They need to have been evicted. There you go. Look at that chitin. Look at that horrible manky foot with the rear claw. It's pretty damn good, this. I like it, dude. You've been working on this for a while, and it shows. I'm a big fan. It's so gross. Ugh. So gross. Mishap damage. Airbrush struggles are real. Trying to learn them to do more than base coats. I have to strip it, right? I mean, she looks pretty stripped to begin with, love. Why? Why do you need to strip it? I can't see anything there that isn't unfixable. I'm assuming you're going for some sort of two-tone skin. Yeah, you've got like a demon half and a mortal half, right? Texture on belly and ring on left breast. I wasn't looking that close at her boobs, to be fair. Oh, that's not just the light shining. Right. Okay. No, you don't have to strip it. So you can, when you have spider webbing, which is essentially what this is, yours in this case is just sort of pooled, and then eventually the surface tension on top of this ever-growing pool of paint has then ripped apart, and you've just got this sort of donut thing. You don't have to strip it. If it is particularly prominent, then you can file it off. Just use, I use these cool sanding twigs. When I assemble minis, it's 2 bits of fine grit sandpaper with some foam board in between. And you can probably find these somewhere out by you. If it's really prominent, just take that to it, reprime that area, and then come back in and work your skin tones back up over it. If it's not, just do several passes with the airbrush, and you'll start to fill everything around it with a nice opaque layer, and you won't see it. But if it is prominent, especially on a mini like this, because it's on skin, I just lightly take that away. Everything you've done so far is somewhat pale, at least in the photo. It might just be the camera. Don't be afraid of going a little brighter with the airbrush, like getting some real punch behind it. That's one of its main strengths, is being able to do that. Because you're laying down colours over a primer or similar that have a very, very thin layer. And you could even put base yellow over black. It would look ugly to begin with, but eventually it would come through as a bold yellow. But it would still remain a nice smooth layer. So don't be afraid to go a little bit further than feels natural. Because remember, whilst you're amping all that up with the airbrush, by the time you get to the stage where you're putting your recess shading and any sort of natural shades, whether it be volumetric or just dropping them into things, you're going to bring the overall tone of it back down a little bit. So you've got a lot of leeway for stuff like that. This is going to be an epic mini. My actual favourite thing about this miniature is the crossed arms, because you've got angel half, demon half, and then that bit where they cross over. I think that's really, really clever. This is a great sculpt, and I've got absolutely no doubt you're not going to smash this out. But if you get stuck with your airbrush, so you have to strip the angel wing for sure. It's difficult to see, but I'm not sure you do. Before you strip it, give it a wash or something along those sorts of lines, and see how it reacts. Because if you strip it anyway, it's not going to be much more difficult stripping off a little layer of some acrylic wash. And if you do that and think, actually, no, I don't need to, then you save yourself a job. Mr. Enigma. Still a lot of detail in this guy. As always, mistakes were made. Happy little accidents, but okay. Cool, we're doing the Blood Bowl Orcs, and you've got your Citadel butt plug. Alternatively, I like to think of this, if someone hollowed out the bottom, as a Citadel egg cup. Little egg holder. That's what it looks like to me. Miss half damage anytime. Hit me up on Discord if you need anything. I'm usually pretty good at answering Discord messages, so just shout. Also, it's a lovely picture of the handle, and less so of the mini. This getting on the mini. Should have to do this. So mistakes were made, you say. I can see a massive mould line down the front of his shoulder, which is a mistake. Other than that, you've got all your base coats down. I'm not sure what other mistakes there were. You know, there's things to go in there with some shading and some additional highlights. Obviously, he's got just white eyes. Looks like he's in the Batman animated series cartoon right now. But this is fine. What mistakes do you think you've made with this? Because I think you're just being a little bit too critical, like self-critical. Maybe the metallic could be brighter, but again, that's where your highlights start to come in. Is this one of the Vallejo? I see you've got a Vallejo airbrush metallic behind it. Is this one of those? Because they are super, super, super shiny. If it is, there's possibility to just go a little bit brighter and do some volumetric highlights with the airbrush, so bringing out the shape of panels and so on. I keep missing mold lines and my accuracy isn't there yet. Oh, dude, that comes with practice. Brush control, whether it's airbrush or normal paintbrush, that just takes time to learn. It was the gunmetal, I thought so. I've got the chrome, and that's really, really nice. It's a proper, like, bright, poppy silver. I like it a lot. You can use the gunmetal and then come in with that over the top of it, just in places to start bringing out some areas that highlight. But you're doing well, dude. You are doing well. I'd be happy with what you've got there, as long as you just know now I have some highlights and things like that to do. Speed metal. That's a very big highlight. So think about. Actually, I can give you an example of this. 1, 2, 3. So in painting, we talk about step changes. Let's say I painted everything with this color. This is the dark grey blue. Painted everything with this color. I want to highlight my blue, so I get a bright blue and I highlight it with that. That is way too much of a step change. Okay, you started here at like volume 3 and now you're here at volume 9 and there's nothing in between. That's where you put in this. And suddenly the progression now looks a lot more natural. You've gone dark to mid to light. That's fine. And always blend them together. So out of this progression, I do a base coat and then mix these two 50-50 and do a coat. And this one pretty much on its own, but still mixed into that last one just to give a little suggestion of it on its own. And then these two mixed together 50-50. And then this one, most of its own, mixed into the last mix. And you get a nice smooth progression through a set of highlights. But if you did gunmetal to speed metal, that's what you'd have. Now I appreciate on a lot of metallics, so let's grab one of these little gimpy buggers. You've got something that would be super shiny and have that real like ping highlight. But you've got to keep them extremely small. They've got to be really thin, and they've usually got to be right at the very edge of stuff. It's like an edge highlight. And that can be difficult to work with, which is why I prefer volumetric shades on stuff. So here I did a coat of gunmetal and then a zenithal of the chrome, which is a lot lighter than speed metal, then washed it and then highlighted up twice, the second highlight being speed metal, so it has a bit more of a natural flow to it. I think that's the better call. But only because if you look at this picture, that armor is basically metallic black, and speed metal is basically metallic white, and that's the biggest step change you could have, black to white. So find the middle ground and work it out. Hey, no worries, no worries. All right, here's Des. Just did some varnishing. Been meaning to do it for ages. Used the Vallejo acrylic stuff through the airbrush. Matte varnish, mate. I matte absolutely everything, and even the metallic stuff I've got in front of me has had 1 or 2 coats of matte varnish. And such is the power of the metallics that I've used and the smoothness of the coat that they've got, they've retained their shine to a degree. But matte varnishing means that the highlights go where I said they would go, and not a satin paint that has a little bit of a sheen to it, or a gloss paint has a lot of a sheen to it, being at the mercy of whatever lights you're there. So I love the matte finish. Loving these, mate. Absolutely loving these. Good work. MC6117, Base Lieutenant Joven. I tried to follow your advice on YouTube. Too much? No! No, definitely not, dude. That's good. Right, so what you've done here, all of the stuff that's embedded in the base looks like it belongs in the base. Yeah, it does. So those plastic steps, you can see there's dirt that comes up to them. Yeah. My biggest pet peeve is people placing stuff on a base, and the worst one is like body parts. Like when someone puts an arm holding a bolt gun on a base, that's so bad. But people put stuff on a base, and if it is something like a bolt gun, like an assault rifle is about £8. A sniper rifle like a Barrett is like £20. A bolt gun that a space marine can fire in one hand and the average person can barely lift with two, it possibly weighs like £50, right? If you drop that, it's going to create a small crater and get embedded in the base. Which is why I'm quite happy that the, we'll say book, because at first thought I thought it was a lunchbox. I don't know why. But in my head it's like, oh, it's a lunchbox. No, it's not. That's quite chunky looking. Whereas the little reliquary, the bone vajazzle at the front there, that could just be lead on the ground. Whereas the book, bigger, you see that roll comes up the sides of it a little bit. This is the key to making your bases look a bit more realistic. Well done, mate. Glad you followed the guide, and I'm glad it was helpful to you as well. That's on YouTube. Simple steps to boost your bases, I think. Primus Miniature Painting updated the base a little. A little? You updated the base a lot, dude. So last time we saw this, there was some orange splodges around it. Now, that looks really, really tidy. Love those tufts. Nice and bright. They contrast to the rest of the base there, whilst also looking a little bit anemic and just a bit pale, you know. As befitting something that's maybe growing next to a big drum of God knows what chemical. So, MC, no worries, bro. No worries at all. I love it. Have you got the billboard here as well? No. I saw the billboard had been finished in either the Whip or the General Chat earlier on. I was a big fan. Finally redid the base. Hey, here we go. Nice. Nice. So you've gone for a very, very, very short cropped bit of grass. That's good, dude. That's really good. Nice. We're going to get some mad tufts on this guy. Properly overgrown pitch. I love the armor though. The skin tones you've got there are brilliant. The bright orange is great. Liking it. Gummer! Attached a few models to bases tonight. The rest of the bases that I worked on yesterday and the 4 special character heralds are all attached to bases and pretty much complete. I'm going to skip this photo for a sec and go to this one because your bases are brilliant. I love these. There's a very cool marble effect you've got going on there, dude. Very nice. Simple steps to make marble. What was it? Paint marble fast, I think was the title of the video. That one's on YouTube, and that's really good. It's how to do two-tone marble, even with like a tint and stuff like that as well. I really like that video. There's a lot of people that have used that. Yeah, I was very happy with it. I love what you've done here, mate. My favourite thing about these is the sand that you've put on top of it. You've got all this marble, but you're not afraid to cover a load of it up. Make something else to give the base that little extra bit of pop. Oh, it's great. Well done. Let's go and have a look at the minis that are on them now. There you go. There you go. What a great demon army. Fuck those chariots. Apparently they're a pain to put together, and you've done 2 of them, so good for you. Good for you. I can't imagine doing the 90-odd plague bearers I've got behind me on those bases, though. I'll stick with my Garden of Nurgle ones. Oh, look at these. Slimo, the changeling. What is this not black base rim that you've got going on. He might be the changer of ways, but he's not the changer of base rims, alright? That's a no. Black base rims. Great work though, dude. Honestly. Blood Droplet Shrapnel. This is my first, still full of pride. I saw this earlier on. We'll go for a front shot first. Yeah, not bad, dude. Not bad at all. For a first mini, you should be extremely happy with this. Extremely happy with this. Does it matter how tall my Void Dragon is? I want to add wings, but it make it too tall. Only for tournament play, and to be honest, you'd have to get this entire conversion approved at that point, which is not necessarily going to happen because his dimensions are very different. Try and keep it a rough height. Have I got a tape measure? Not down here. It's my rule. Anywhere handy. Yes. The Void Dragon is almost cock on 8 inches, but that's to the table, not to the top of the base. So bear in mind you've got a base width to take away from that, or base depth, I guess, to take away from that. Anyway, back to this. This is really good. First mini, I'd be over the moon. My first mini was a Blood Angel, and to say he looked nowhere near as good as this is quite an understatement. He was so bad. So bad. Yours, brilliant work. Brilliant work. I'm not going to give you any feedback on like do this or don't do this or so on, because I think you've done a great job to begin with. What I want you to do for your next minis is just have fun with them. That's all. It's a great hobby that you're embarking on, and anyone who's brand new into the hobby, I'm always jealous because everything's new to you and you've got no preconceived notions of shit. You can just paint and have fun, and I really want you to. There's the butt shot. What do you do with the base rims when you have rock or sand on top of the base? Do you mean if you've got stuff that's right at the edge? I've done a few bases like that, and I just paint the base rim, and I don't go above that. If I've got, say, like the Necromunda bases that GW did, where the base rim is contoured depending on what is on the surface, then we follow the contour line round. So it's black, it's cut off, so there's nothing there. Other than that, if there's like a weird sculpture, then I just paint that side black, or leave it as a rock, a statue, a tree, a Dead Space Marine, whatever. My first was oil painted Grimdark Dark Angel. It did not look as good as that. Great work. Oils on small minis is a really hard thing to do well. More shots of the Void Tangles. Yeah, I can see there's variation there, mate. But like I said, you're running it at like volume 6. Void Dragons are running at volume 11. You know, they're really bouncing around. Look at that. Yeah. So much more going on than the one that you've got. And that's not to say yours is bad at all. One thing I'd be careful of is I've just realised you've created convergence points, and I swear in the Void Dragon video I probably put confluence points way too many times. I meant convergence every time. Where those joins come in, you put green stuff, and you've very much fattened that. Whereas here, anytime they join, it's super small. You just got rocks over those. Okay, have you got a soldering iron? Because maybe it's worth just soldering some wire. You get small joints at that point. It'd be super strong, obviously. So for the ones that you've got here, great places for your rocks. But then for a load of others, then just solder it. I did try soldering them. It didn't stick, so I said, ah, shit. Is there some coating on your wire? Give it a shot. You could use some thinner wire. Like some heavy gauge paperclip. I got 2 different sizes from Smith's. And there's one's about 2/3 of the width of the other. And so the heavier gauge might work quite well for this because it's not easy to bend by accident. I wouldn't go down to like untangling picture hanging wire because that's great for little bits of lightning, but it's such a fucker. So those kind of things would work well. Another thing that does work well, actually, I should have mentioned this. Barbed wire for minis is usually a thicker core with some thinner wire wrapped around it. Stuff like that works quite well for anything like this, arcing energy, because it's this weird shape. As long as you don't coil it into a barbed wire, it's not recognizable to miniature painters as barbed wire. So give that a shot. Do you ever show mini on its base, which you paint it separately? I put everything on a base. So going back to Zarek, he's there, and this guy is on a base. The difference is this guy's on a base to hold him before he goes on the throne. This guy's on the base that he's going to live on. It depends what I'm painting, basically, mate. There's no hard and fast rule. It also depends on what kind of base I'm doing. If it's a real special base, then no. We do the base separate to everything else. But there you go. That's Danny's beginnings for his conversion for the Void Dragon. Good work, dude. Good work. But that's it. It's literally just gone midnight. I'm not going to bed. I'm putting together Silent King. I'm not going to do that on stream. You'll have to wait to see that guy put together fully on Instagram. So go and check that out at some point. I'll tell you what, before we go and raid, there's one thing we've got to do. We've got to do this. Exclamation point gift. I'll give you guys literally 60 seconds. 60 seconds. If you would like to vote on what mini we're going to paint on my birthday and give away, follow the link in that straw poll. Any of those 3 links now. Thank you very much, guys. And Shark in the Box, you did come in just for the end. But you're here. That's what counts, right? Currently, it's a dead heat. Dead heat between Carl the Bee Trainer and Fabulous Bill. 2 minis that have been released twice now. Came out in Chaos Codex 3.5. Got redone 20 odd years later. Fantastic. Fantastic. One of these minis is going to get ordered after the stream from Element Games. So I'll give it till 5 past on the clock here. Not long left. Here's the vote. Here's the vote. There's a Harlequin that is right in there close at the top. And the Ambots are in there close as well. So there's literally all to play for. Now, whatever we get, I'm going to paint up on my birthday, which is a week on Tuesday. So that's our normal stream night. And, oh god, Fabulous Bill is creeping out there! I haven't voted yet. I haven't voted. So I still have a vote to go in on this. JC, that's fantastic, man. I'm glad you painted something. And it is just morning, you're right, so well done. Oh god, it's... Oh! Oh! Oh, the excitement! Fabulous Bill just made it neck and neck, and Khan's like, no, chain axe to the face, bitch, get down. That's it, it's 5 past, done. Khan is the one. Khan is the one. So I'm going to go and grab him off of Element in a minute. Oh, yes, he's such a fucking beast as well. The real question is, new school World Eaters or old school World Eaters? I do like that blue and white. I really do like that blue and white. Could be that. Could be that. Oh, right. Who should we raid? We raided 2 Dorks, 1 Brush recently. Studio J7 is probably closing up his streams. It's gone midnight. We see this with Reiner, Captain Madlove, Jack of Clubs. Cervantes is playing games, otherwise I might have gone there. You choose. You choose. Old school or go home. I am home. Just vote for Khan. I think got the last second deciding vote. Nice. If it had ended up on a tie between Khan and Fabulous Bill, because I still have my own vote, I haven't voted, I would have rolled for it and just gone with whatever we had. But I would have hoped for Khan. Right. No one spoke up about a raid, so I'm going to choose. We're going to go see Reiner. He's painting some more Judgment. And he's painting the Octopus Lady again. Oh, no, we got to guide the raid from Des, the Captain Madlove. To be fair, she needs some viewers right now. She's working on a dragon? I think. There you go. When we get there, as always, show them where you're from. Spam those Meep emotes. Get them in the chat. I will see you guys on the next stream, which is tomorrow night's Hellstorm stream at 6 PM UK time. Twitch.tv/Hellstorm Wargaming. That's me and Mikey with our Hobby Monday. New Year, new army for some people. Mikey being one of those. Get your hobby resolutions going on. And then it'll be Tuesday here at 9, where we're going to finish off the Minotaur and hopefully start the Armiger. We'll see you guys there. Peace out.